Hi friends, back to my channel. The Carly Gregg's conviction and sentencing has brought up the question of mental health and should juveniles be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. I started a Facebook group to help Carly and it has been well received. I am greatly thankful for the support, not only for the group, but also for the many people from around the world, not just the United States. I want to put on the record why I felt so compelled to create this group. My reasoning, to put it mildly, if you feel the same way that I do and want to support Carly and join the group, I will leave a link to the page or the group in the description below. I only have a minimum subscribers, so as I understand it, I can't put links as tags. All that we simply ask is that you be respectful with your comments. This is a group to support Carly and not a group to come up with conspiracy theorists or anything, but just to support Carly and support her family to get her the ability to be released and her verdict hopefully overturned. When I heard that dreadful guilty verdict, I disagreed, of course, with that because of the lack of evidence that I saw from the state to be able to feel comfortable about convicting Carly of all the charges that she was facing. And when I heard 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, I was downright angry. I was perturbed. I was sad. Why? Because that felt to me that society was giving up on Carly. Carly can't be helped. Carly can't be rehabilitated. Carly can't be even in society and enjoy the freedoms that all Americans are entitled to. What do I know about that, though? I have never been a defendant or accused for anything in my state, never been in jail, never served time in prison. But I do know what it's like to be misunderstood, society to give up on you, abused, and taken advantage of. You see, I was Carly's age, 14 years old, a freshman in high school, when I had a dream to attend college, figuring out what I want to do with my life. What interest do I have? Get a degree. My support system consisted of my parents wanting to ensure I would accomplish the goal that goal of mine, and my high school counselors that should have been my supportive to my dream, but they were more bullied bullies to me than support because my parents were told when I was a freshman in high school, as well as me, that I was not college material and should give up on that dream. I felt like my high school was throwing in the towel. Now, I was in special education. Unlike Carly, from the testimony I heard, she was, I believe, skipped a grade. I was held back a grade. I have a diagnosis of hypoglycemia. I have a form of dysautonomia called neurocardiogenic syncope, also referred to as NCS. I have lost 3 jobs because of this. I graduated cum laude with 2 associate degrees and a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering technology. Had hundreds of interviews. Now, one of the interviews I went to, I got an offer that from a job that I wanted to accomplish in my field. I'm a slow learner, but no company felt the inspiration to spend a little bit more time training me or teaching me or giving me kind of like a support, which to me is ironic. How many companies hire people because clearly they are qualified and are caught embezzling, extorting money, caught stealing from the company, and just dishonest employees that are in positions of power and yet try to influence their gain by taking advantage of the company's opportunities. Now, do you think that someone like me with disabilities that was told, no, you're never going to do it, just don't give up on it, is going to work so hard to get that one chance, one opportunity, and we're going to blow it by stealing or embezzling or taking from the company for personal gain? I've been betrayed by a bunch of people I thought I could trust, looking out for their own interest or reputations. Companies that use their policies in an unethical way, lied to unemployment to prevent me from getting the unemployment. I'm not so angry about them getting rid of me. I mean, they've got to do what's best for the company. But I'm more angry with the fact that if you're going to get rid of me, fine. But at least give me the ability to get unemployment until I find something else that I can get another job. Occupational health in a company was stalling short-term disability that, and then conveniently cleared me to return to work when I had less than a week of short-term disability left. And of course, I got fired or got sick that very night again, and I had no short-term disability, so they had the means to release me. When I saw a lawyer about disability benefits, a judge, I was told a judge, the first thing they would say, you have 3 degrees. You should be able to get something. The message I got, if I would have not tried, if my parents would not have supported me, if I would have just given up, I would be entitled to it. But because I did things the right way, because I did things that no one gave me a chance in God's green earth to accomplish, I get punished. I get shamed by society. I get shamed by people like lawyers that said, no, I'm not going to take your case because there's a good chance that we would lose. At my birth, my doctors also told my parents I would not walk, socialize, drive, learn, or even get into high school. That I probably wouldn't even be able to make it. I was that I was not intelligent or handsome. Okay, they got 2 of them right. In my mental disability playlist, I have videos about breaking down the borders, knowing and understanding disabilities and mental health, which I will put in the end, end playlist, as well as the description below that you can watch. Which brings me to the second reason I created this group. Mr. Smith said that the jury have can't have age, emotion, assumption, or speculation to enhance their verdict. Well, a big assumption that led to Carly's conviction and verdict, at least in my mind. I might have said this before. When you have schizophrenia, people assume they hear voices all the time, every minute, every day, and they are very delusional and they constantly hear voices. There's not a minute throughout the day that they can't hear or don't hear voices. What a big speculation the jury just did to convict Carly. That's not a assumption, you might think. Well, okay. I have dysautonomia, a form of neurocardiogenic syncope that I just mentioned. If Carly would get a new trial, and I went down to witness the trial to support her, and I walked in the courtroom, it might appear to everyone that I am drunk or intoxicated if I was having an episode to match my diagnosis. I might even have blurry vision. Taking that example about what the jury, prosecutor, and judge might have thought, or even what doctors have testified to, Now, I am not 100% sure of Carly's exact diagnosis, and I don't want people to put in the comments, she doesn't have that, you don't know what you're talking about. But this is just to illustrate my point, taking a logical standpoint from how Aristotle would have judged this. Now, there's a thing called we take a premise, we take another premise, and we draw a conclusion. So it might go something like this. First premise, Carly is diagnosed with schizophrenia, let's say. Second premise, schizophrenia, you hear voices. Jury's conclusion. Testimony stated that Carly, at some appointments, she was not hearing voices at that particular time. So she doesn't have schizophrenia and was not having mental issues at the time of the incident. I prefer incident rather than crime. Is that fact or assumption? Let's find out. Let's take me, for example. Now, first premise, I am diagnosed with neurocardiogenic syncope. Second premise, I am I am fine right now and showing no symptoms currently. Jury's conclusion, I don't have neurocardiogenic syncope, and the diagnosis is null and void unless I show symptoms. Does that make any sense? Does it? Diabetics out there, no, if you know you're fine and your sugar is regulated and you don't have high blood sugar or showing any symptoms right now, just stop taking your insulin. You don't have the diagnosis of diabetes anymore. That is the vibe I got from the testimony and the jury's verdict. Juries are supposed to use common sense, reason, and not speculation or assumption to give them their verdict. Put in your comments in the comment section below, but I believe the jury takes that instruction to determine what the defense is trying to get them to speculate and assume, rather than how much they should be focusing on what the prosecution and the government is trying to get them to assume or speculate. That is probably the reason we have such a high rate of wrongful convictions in this country. You know, one of the things that when I see trials, I think juries are sometimes doing this. What exactly is the defense trying to get me to speculate? What are they trying to get me to assume? When I think jurors, if you're assigned to jury duty or if you're given the opportunity to be on jury duty, the big question is, because the burden is on the state, what key facts that would lead to her conviction, lead to me saying she's guilty, is the prosecution trying to get me to speculate? What are they trying to get me to assume? Third, I started this group for, it sounds selfish, but me. I had to settle for a job that is tough to get thrilled, tough to get going in the day, to be able to do my job every day. I feel like, maybe I should just call off and just take a rest. Depressed, sad, and unhappy, making it a mission. So what did I do about this? Try to figure out how I could become happier. How could I be able to tolerate my job and be able to be a more happy and intent person when I go into work? Making it a mission of mine to ensure justice for Carly is done. I feel happy, fulfilled, thrilled. I can go to work just thinking of Carly, Ashley, and Carly's entire family. It gets me through the night. I was just what I was doing, when I figured out what I was doing, I was working for myself. But now when I go to work, I'm not working for myself. I am working for Carly. I'm working for those like Carly to be able that are found guilty by wrongful conviction or they have mental problems. That is why I felt compelled to start this group to support Carly. The state should never have tried this case without at least asking what the families wanted, because the family was the main victim in this case. Carly should never have been convicted, never should have been sentenced, and never should have been tried as an adult. What is funny, well, I shouldn't say funny, is Ashley's family, the mother that lost her life, and Carly's stepfather, the person that was attacked, and one of the charges was attempted murder of Carly's stepfather, are fighting the verdict and the sentence. A link in the description will also be provided for a campaign that the family is doing to fundraise. If you would like to contribute whatever you can do, or whatever, by whatever means, do you realize that if 2,000 people just gave $20, they would reach their goal? The victims in this case really are trying desperately to get this verdict and sentence appealed and overturned. If you want to support the victims, I suggest you make a donation to this campaign. That would really help the victims out, and I'm sure the victims in this case would really appreciate it. Any assistance to be able to help this convicted defendant, which begs the question, have you ever seen this happen before in our country? I donate to this campaign, but I really support Carly and really am trying to help Carly get this conviction overturned. I'm sure any little that you can donate, Carly and her family, and most of all, Ash, will be eternally grateful. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment section below.